Hello, this is Key Point with Dr. Victor Marcus, where we inspire growth, excellence, and purpose one point at a time. And today I want to discuss an important thing today, things to acquire in school before graduation. One thing I want young people and students to know is that university or school is a training ground, not just a place to acquire a degree. So that means when you're in school, your focus must be much more than just to have a certificate to graduate. And especially face-to-face schooling is very important for many of these reasons, which I will outline. And so I want you to the first thing I want you to note is that, or I want students to acquire before schooling, or if your schooling will be rich, your schooling will be impactful, important, and meaningful and fruitful, then I believe the first thing to acquire before you graduate is discipline. Now, when you get a high CGPA, which is good, but without the discipline that is important in life, then it will just mean that you have obtained a box that is well decorated, but inside is dirty, or inside there's nothing, inside there's no substance. And so there are a number of things I believe that a student is supposed to gain when at the end of your stay in school. One of it is discipline. You have come weak into school. When you are going out, you're supposed to be strong. So we want to see some certain things you have acquired. For example, you are able to manage your time very well. You do not need people to say, you must do this, you must do that. Of course, all of us, when we are growing up, we won't wake up early. Our parents have to come to wake us up. And then we won't do certain things except we are restricted and asked and commanded to do it. Some of us, after schooling, after the university, or whether we have attended for 4 years or 3 years or 6 years, we still need people to say, do this, do that, you must do this, you must do that, manage your time well. That shows that you have not really obtained an important thing, or you have missed to acquire an important thing from school. And so discipline is a very key thing. So at the end of your stay in school, you're supposed to know how to manage your time. You're supposed to be tough, resilient, confident. You're supposed to be focused in your studies. You're supposed to be, by that time, you're supposed to know what you want and the ways you should be able to get those things. And you should be supposed to have some consistency. Not today, you are motivated, tomorrow you are down, and this kind of zigzag kind of a life. We're supposed to see some consistency in your belief system and some of your attitude in life. These are all mark of discipline. And if you are able to get this, then you have really gotten gold as you are going out of school. That's the first thing I believe you should get, apart from the degree or the certificate in which you are obtaining. The second part of it is publications and research exposure. Now, this is very important, although so many students actually look down on it because we just pursue higher grade, and that's all. Remember, their higher grade is good, I'm for it, but if the higher grade reflects who you are and not that you just obtain it, and actually it's a reflection of what was given to you, not really who you are. So research and publication is very important thing also, because you can collaborate with your lecturers. I've seen many students, even medical students, that approach me and say, sir, we want to come to your lab, we want to do something like that. And that's commendable for those students, because they understood the importance of research and publication, because it develop your critical thinking. You learn how to do research, you learn how to think. It develops also your ability to write, ability to communicate persuasively, because after you have obtained your result, you need to communicate it to publish it. So in the process of publishing, it helps you as well to know how to not just only obtain the result, but as well communicate it better, and communicate it to an audience that you ought to. I mean, there are audience that are knowledgeable as well. There are audience that are not in your field, but they can understand what you have done. And we have a number of journals which you can do that. But at least, no matter how small the journal is, if you are able to, as a student, publish something before you graduate, it's going to be a very, it will be beneficial to you. You can publish in student journals, I mean, conference proceeding, even if you've not, published in a very high impact journal, that's not important for now. But at least you have done something, and you have learned. Remember, the aim is for learning, is to build something that will help you later in life. The third important thing, and I think that a student should obtain before graduation, is the issue of experience. Now, many, of course, employers will require you to have experience before they employ you, but not just only for employment. Experience goes, you're not just seeking experience because you want an employment. Your life should be beyond just wanting a job. Now, experience expose you to a lot of things, help you to apply the knowledge you have been learning in school. And know it's good. Many people, I know that young people, as they are graduating from school, they just want a job that will give them money. I mean, at that time, I want you to, yes, money will come, because when you solve a problem, money will come. But the important thing is that you must learn to volunteer, because volunteering is important. I've used this to my advantage. I have volunteered in a research animal farm before, and I have learned a lot, which actually later helped me in my career. Of course, we have other things like taking internship. I mean, I know that in some program in the universities, there are internship is included, mandatory, that students will have to take it at some point in their studies. But I don't want you to look at it that it must be put in your curriculum before you can take it. Use your own initiative. Maybe during holidays and during break, can you take some time and just approach some places and go on an internship by yourself? I mean, this is important because it will expose you, especially companies, organizations that are around your field. Go for internship around that area, volunteer, join campus organizations, of course, because that also helps you in school. And can you embark on some real world projects? That's another key thing. I mean, because once you are doing this, you are what you'll be doing, that you are applying the knowledge you have acquired from the classroom. And then an important part, which is the fourth thing, is relevant skills. Now, you don't want to graduate with just a certificate that you have passed through a particular program, but you want to also come out with relevant skills and this is beyond just the paper you carry. These are relevant skills that are part of you. Nobody will remove that from you. And for example, we have the soft skill, which we have not. These are critical to success. For example, your integrity, communication skills, leadership skills, teamwork. Can you work with others? I know that in school we have most at times work individually. In the class, when we're having exams, it's always everybody will actually write separately. It's just on rare occasion that we give work that are maybe joint projects. But most of the times, most of the things done in school is actually everybody would do it individually. But you have to learn to know how to work with others. Adaptability. Can you be able to be flexible in whatever you're doing? Of course, the other part of it is the hard skills, the technical expertise in your field. We're in a digital world now, and the era of AI. You need to know a lot about some of these skills, digital skills, data analysis. You can add that to your degree. When you add some, for example, now you have a skill in data analysis or some specific techniques. Let's say, for example, you are a medical doctor, but then you added maybe an additional certification, additional technical know-how or skills on let's say, some certain particular skills in medicine, or for example, you are studying something like biochemistry and you have added other skills like in bioinformatics, molecular docking, data analysis I've already mentioned. These are important part of some specialized lab techniques that is not common. These distinguish you from others, and that also will give you an advantage. The fifth thing is networking. Or networks. This is one part again that I see student neglect actually as I interact with them. I've talked to so many students. Immediately after my class, most of them will just carry their bag and just move out. They don't talk to anyone. They don't talk. In fact, when I have asked a student before, and I said, tell me just 5 names of your classmates. Some of them you'll be surprised they don't know, because they don't interact. And I asked them, no, you are missing a lot, because at the end of the day, you will understand opportunities don't just come because of applications. Opportunities come because of your relationships. You understand that relationships are more than application when you graduate. With just a relationship you have established with important people, you're going to get opportunities or doors open for you, instead of actually sitting down applying to hundreds places. So take this opportunity, build meaningful connection with classmates, your lecturers. I can't be in a class and my lecturer doesn't know me. No, it's not possible. Most of my lecturers know who I am. They know because I go to them, I ask them questions, I ensure that I'm closer to them. And I sometimes, especially those ones that shows concern and they want to see me develop, I tell them my aspirations. And then to hear what is there, because these lecturers have enormous experience and enormous actually knowledge that they can share. And so this lecturer around your field, attend conferences. This is very important, because when you attend conferences, seminar and professional events, what do you do? Because you're going to find other people again from different schools, from different industries that come on these professional events and professional conferences. And then that's where you do, you connect. Before you know, these are the very relationship you will need later in life. And I want to encourage you, don't just pass through school without building. In fact, this is one of the very important thing, and I think probably, I don't want to be controversial, and I don't want it to look as if I downgrade certificate, but I tell you the truth, if you put certificates and networks or relationship, for me, I will pick relationship first before certificate. If in that order of priority, I truly value relationship much more than certificates. So this is how this is important. I hope you don't want to suffer before you get to understand why relationships are important. Okay, so the next thing is the 16, which is short courses and professional training. These add actually to what you are gaining from school, degree. For example, when you obtain your different kind of certification, they just add color and add experience and understanding and your exposure as well to many other things. For example, in addition to your degree, maybe you add project management, data science certification, maybe language proficiency, also even entrepreneurship training or certification or training that you have obtained besides just the degree you have obtained. You discover that this will give you an advantage as you continue in life. The last is to actually learn to connect your knowledge to industry. Now, I don't know how we get here, but sincerely, this has been disturbing me for a long while, because when you ask students a simple question, most of them are just saying, when I graduate, I'm going to work. Almost every student is about employment, work. I don't know whether it's a school environment that has conditioned us that way, but truly, it's not okay. Probably I'm going to do a video about this later, but I really want students, even if you're thinking about employment and work, I think you should think about it differently. Maybe you should also think about work as another phase of your learning, not really a place of residence or a place where you go there permanently. No, but as another phase of your learning before you can launch out to do bigger things. The question I want you to ask yourself again is that when you graduate, for example, even let's say you have searched for work here and there and you didn't see the work coming, or you didn't see an employment, what will you do? That's the point. What will you do? But you don't want to wait until you graduate and then you find yourself in a situation whereby you are stranded. Then you begin to think on what to do. No, you want to think about that long before you have met that type of or you will long before you can see or find yourself in that kind of scenario. That's what we call being proactive. So first and foremost, think about the knowledge you're acquiring in school. How can you apply it? Identify some product and some services you can offer based according to the training you have obtained from school. Yes. Can you develop a business plan? If you have identified a service that you can be able to offer based according to the training you have obtained and the knowledge you've gained from school, can you be able to look at some services you can be able to offer? Develop a business plan around that area. Research. Do a lot of research before you graduate. Now I want you just to know that as I said earlier, that graduation is not just moving out of school with just a paper that you have graduated. No, there must be evidence from your life completely. And I believe if you will do these 7 things, you'll be exceptional. And my advice is that to pay attention to first discipline. You understand? You have research, exposure. You have shared the knowledge. You have contributed to knowledge, experience, relevant skills. You have built relationship, meaningful relationship, networks. You have had short trainings here and there, 4 weeks here and there, and then you have some certifications. And then you have developed a business plan. You have identified a problem in the society that you want to solve. You have researched on it. You have developed a business plan around that. Graduating with application is more important. And I don't want you just to graduate that you have knowledge, but graduate that you have something to apply. You have an idea to apply based according to what you have been trained. And this, I believe, can make our student more productive, successful as they are graduating. We don't want to keep having this problem of unemployment again and again. That's my advice to you. I want you to just maybe type or just comment. Let me know which point here actually strike, maybe which point actually resonate with you more. I mean, personally, and let me know why. And I believe that at the end of the day, this will profit you if you pay attention to it. See you next time.